Have you ever thought about a career that offers real prestige, security, and the chance to directly shape your country? Well, in Bangladesh, that dream has a name: becoming a BCS Cadre. Today, we're building the ultimate playbook for anyone starting from scratch. I mean, this is the complete guide to conquering what really feels like the Mount Everest of competitive exams, the Bangladesh Civil Service Examination. So, let's dive right in.
You know, this quote from the Financial Express just hits the nail on the head. It perfectly captures how deep this ambition runs. If you walk onto pretty much any university campus, becoming a BCS cadre isn't just another job option. For so many, it's the goal. It's seen as the absolute pinnacle of success and respect in society.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the why. What's the big deal? Then we'll walk through the entire exam process, step by step. After that, we'll break down the syllabus, stock your arsenal with the best books, and wrap things up with some priceless wisdom from people who've actually done it.
All right, first things first. Before we get into all the nitty-gritty of how to do it, let's get crystal clear on the what. What exactly is a BCS Cadre, and why does everyone want to be one?
Okay, so in the simplest terms, the BCS examination is the one and only gateway to the Bangladesh Civil Service. It's this massive, nationwide competitive exam designed to find the best and brightest to become the country's future leaders in huge areas like administration, foreign affairs, and even the police. But see, it's not just about a fancy job title. For aspirants like Wajid Ali Khan, it's a real calling. It's the chance to be in the rooms where the big decisions are made, to help guide society, and to serve people directly. That drive, that passion, that's what fuels thousands of people through this tough journey.
And speaking of the journey, just look at this number. Let it sink in. 475,000 people. That's how many competed for just over 2,000 positions. This isn't just a statistic. It tells you everything you need to know about the prestige. When that many people are fighting for so few spots, you know it means something.
So you get the motivation, right? Now let's break down the actual path. The whole process is a marathon, not a sprint. It can take a couple of years. And yeah, it's a real gauntlet, but it's a structured one. There are 3 very clear stages you have to pass through.
So, the journey kicks off with the preliminary test. Think of it as a giant filter. It's a multiple-choice exam made to shrink that massive pool of applicants. If you get past that, you're on to the written test, which is way more detailed and exhaustive. And the final hurdle? The Viva Voce. That's a face-to-face interview where they really assess your personality and whether you're a good fit for public service.
To get through that gauntlet, you need the right arsenal. And your arsenal starts with understanding the battlefield itself. That means we need to map out the syllabus for the first stage, the preliminary test. Okay, here it is, the 10 subjects you need to master. As you can see, the big hitters are Bangla and English, both worth 35 marks. Right behind them are Bangladesh and international affairs. But here's the thing, don't even think about ignoring the others. Every single mark in subjects like general science or ethics is absolutely crucial.
And listen, this isn't about just skimming the surface. To give you an idea of the detail we're talking about, let's just pick one: mathematical reasoning. You're not just studying math. Nope. The syllabus says you have to master very specific topics like set theory, permutation and combination, statistics, and even probability. Every single subject on that list has the same level of required detail.
All right, you've got the map of the battlefield. Now it's time to gather your weapons. You need the right tools to get all that knowledge, so let's look at what the experts and the top cadres recommend.
For your core subjects, these books are basically legends in the BCS community. If you ask around, you'll hear these names over and over. For English grammar, Masters is considered a must-have. For those subjects that so many people worry about, like math and mental ability, the K-Rules series is what everyone turns to for building a rock-solid foundation. These are your starting blocks. Now, for those heavy knowledge-based subjects like Bangladesh affairs, international affairs, and so on, a lot of successful candidates suggest a different strategy. Instead of juggling 4 different books, they recommend finding a single, really good, comprehensive guide. It just pulls all that information into one place and makes your studying way more efficient.
So having the right books is one thing, but knowing how to use them is a whole other ballgame. For our final section, let's get into the real secrets. Let's learn from the people who've already made it across the finish line.
Now, this piece of advice right here from Snehasish Kumar Das, a 37th BCS Cadre, is so important. And it's probably the opposite of what you'd think. He says you don't have to cover every single little thing. The goal isn't to become a walking encyclopedia. It's to prepare smart.
So what does preparing smart look like today? Well, it really boils down to a few key strategies. First, your foundation in English and math has to be rock solid. Focus there. Second, you have to be adaptable. The question patterns change, so old methods won't work. It's less about memorizing and more about reading widely so you can tackle those tricky analytical questions. And finally, practice, and then practice some more.
And that last point, practice, is where modern tools become your best friend. Practicing consistently is easier than ever with online platforms. Something like Live MCQ lets you take mock tests, jump into live exams with thousands of other people, and see exactly where you stand. Honestly, for smart prep, it's a total game changer.
So, there you have it. The calling, the gauntlet, the arsenal, the library, and the wisdom. We've laid out the entire roadmap, from knowing nothing to being a seriously prepared contender. The playbook is right here, in your hands. The only question left is, are you ready to start your journey?